Raimon are one of the simplest teams in Inazuma 11, but they might also be one of the best? How exactly? Well, let's find out. TXM style. Hey everyone, and welcome to an Inazuma 11 team review. Now this is similar to the character review video I posted a couple days ago, except this one is about teams. So I'm going to be taking some teams from Inazuma 11, focusing on them, and analysing how they work, how they don't work, looking at their members, looking at memorable matches, and all that kind of jazz. So we have a pretty gargantuan task for us for our first team we're looking at, because they are the Raimon 11, arguably the most iconic team in the entirety of Inazuma 11. Overall, Raimon are pretty cool. I like them a lot. They are a very simple team, and that's going to be the key word of today's video. Simple. No other team for me amplifies what it means to be an underdog quite like Raimon. Because just from their designs, you look at the Raimon 11 and you think of the word underdog. Because you have players like Todd, Jack, Timmy, Sam, these unconventionally designed characters who you wouldn't associate with what we in the real world associate with a top-class footballer. Because what we associate as a top-class footballer is a bit closer to the opponents that we take on. Royal Academy, Shuriken. Also, yeah, I'm going to be using dub names. I'm so sorry, please don't kill me. But it is this contrast of comparing just the designs on just a really simple level that makes Raimon seem so weak in comparison, but yet that makes them even more relatable and likable. Everyone wants to root for an underdog. It's why massive corporations will try and make themselves seem like underdogs, because that'll make people like them more, because people kind of just generally relate to the weaker man. It's David versus Goliath. People relate to David more than they relate to Goliath. Inazuma 11 Season 1 might be the ultimate David versus Goliath story. You have all these prestige teams that we're taking on. Zeus, Royal Academy, Shuriken, Farm, they all have these massive strengths. And we have Raimon, who don't really have much going for them. They have a good striker. They have a good goalkeeper. Kevin can summon a dragon now. That's cool. But in every single match, we're on the underdog side. And that's also because of the way that the team is written. Every match has a central emotional conflict to it that puts the team in disarray. For instance, for a Colt, Kevin doesn't want to work with Axel. For Wild, Jack is scared of performing the new move that might win them the game. Brainwashing, Mark loves friendship, so why are these people not wanting to be his friend? Otaku, Axel's injured. Royal Academy 2, Mark doesn't know whether or not to try and throw the match or not because Jude and family and Celia. Shuriken, Nathan doesn't know whether to keep playing football or not. Farm, Jude's joined the team, and so there's lots of disarray about that. Kirkwood, it's Axel's old team. Zeus, they're gods. Every match is driven by a central personal conflict that makes you think they're not going to pull this one out the bag. Obviously, it's an anime, you know they are, but that's besides the point. In the moment, you're like, can they win? Because they're dealing with stuff. They're genuinely dealing with these emotional, personal problems that are generally quite relatable. Fear, not understanding why someone doesn't want to be your friend. You broke your leg. Passion, in Nathan's case. And that kind of relates to another reason why I love Raimon. The fact that you're watching these people fall in love with football. Obviously Mark already does, but everyone else you're watching fall in love with the sport and become more passionate as they're doing it. And you're also genuinely watching bonds grow. This isn't like, for instance, Raimon Aries, who already all love each other, or Raimon Go, where everyone already loves each other except for Arian, but they all hate themselves and they all hate the system. No. In this team, I mean, there's little friendship groups. Todd and Jack get along, I guess. But everyone else is kind of, they're all splintered. They're all quite separate. And so watching them come to grow together, especially driven by the inspirational friendship speech of Mark Evans, that's quite moving. And by the end, when you're watching everyone work together as a genuine team, it's nice. It's very, very, very nice. I also think the new additions to the team as the season progresses are really, really, really cool. And if there's one problem I have with Raimon, it's that a lot of their members are probably too weak to really justify them winning all these matches. Mark does kind of carry them, Mark and Axel. And so you can kind of go, no, they probably shouldn't have won that, when really all Sam can do is kick a ball slightly blue. And so that's what the new additions are for, to add some more strength to the actual team and the core dynamics. We have Bobby, who's from Royal Academy, and can slide really well. He also tried to kill them all with a bus, but we ignore that. We have Eric, who is an insanely talented prodigy football player. But we also understand why Eric's on the team, because Bobby and Sylvia were Eric's friends, so it's not like they're just going, all right, now we take the prodigy football player and put him onto the team to justify them beating Zeus. No, it's natural, it's organic. It's what you could have imagined happening, assuming you imagine that Eric wasn't dead the whole time. Obviously, Jude, again, a brilliant storyline. Jude loses his match and so becomes a bit disheartened. He's not really sure what to do with himself. He wants revenge because he blames himself. And so he goes and joins Raimon. He's convinced to join Raimon by Axel and I'm assuming Coach Hillman. And so then he slots himself in as the tactician, because that's kind of what Raimon needed. They didn't really have a playmaker. And so to throw on Jude as the playmaker is pretty brilliant. My favourite thing is that as much as they put on all these cool new players, it doesn't stop them using the old players. By the way, I am specifically talking about Season 1 Raimon. I'm not talking about Season 2 Raimon or any other Raimon, if that wasn't obvious already. But they never stop using the other underdog players, if you will. For instance, Jim, Sam, Steve. These players are still used, and especially in Zeus when everyone's substitute constantly because everyone's dying. Even bloody Willie gets screen time. Willie gets to do stuff in the team. And this is Willie. His name is literally named after a penis. Heck, Willie's kind of instrumental in beating Otaku. That's how much I love this team, is that it's a genuine underdog team, because the underdogs do things. There's a particular scene in the Royal Academy match, the second one, where it's like Mark stops the ball or something, and then he throws the ball, and then Nathan uses Flurry Dash, and Timmy uses Whirlwind Twister. And it's a really big moment because it's these players unlocking their potential, using their special moves. And who are the ones using special moves? Timmy. Timmy's using a special move. Timmy, my man, my G. Shout out to Timmy. Fist bump me, Timmy. Booyah. I genuinely can't overstate how brilliant it is that bloody Timmy has a big moment in the Royal Academy match. Also, Jack becoming one of the best defenders in the world is really funny because he's obviously portrayed to be a wimp at the beginning. Very much of a wimp. He's still always portrayed as a wimp, but always very, very much of a wimp. Yet he becomes so powerful and strong and creating these massive moves. And I know that's really, really obvious, but it's worth noting. It's another example of how this team really works as an underdog, because we take these characters who are very, very, very obviously weak, scared, pathetic, and we make them powerful. We overcome the odds, and more so than in any other Inazuma 11, it feels organic, it feels kind of natural, and it feels right, and I love it. I'll talk about Raimon Ares in more depth in the future, but I always thought their wins were super forced and never really felt natural. Don't get me wrong, Raimon 1 definitely has some weird moments, like scoring 5 goals against Zeus in 2 seconds, but most of them do genuinely feel earned and natural. Combine that with some of the best friendship speeches in the entire world, and also having Todd on your team, and I really like Raimon 1. I think they're a really cool underdog team. I think they're just brilliant in their simplicity. It's just mad to me how you go from the weakest team in the world that doesn't even have all the players in episode 1 to episode 26 where you go, yeah, you know what? Sure, these guys can beat gods. Thank you so much for watching this Inazuma 11 team review. If you liked it, make sure to click the like button, subscribe, and comment down below what you think of Raimon and what team you want to see me review next. I have been TXM Tom Spoors, and bye. Ciao!